to Rambling Runoff. I am your host, Robert Rios, here to give you the sports news you should hear because it's pretty fun and it's pretty cool in my opinion. And to help me wander through this ever-changing sports landscape is my co-host through the digital landscape, Mr. Danny Tan. Danny, say what's up to everybody.
What up, y'all? How's it going?
Yeah. We got a bunch of stuff to talk about today. I know we've been gone for a bit. Everyone gets busy every once in a while, but hey, we're going to try to get everybody through it today. We got the warm-up, of course, we're trying out in the beginning like how we did in our last episode. We got some Dodger Ohtani news to go over. So we'll give our reactions there. And after that, we're going to get into the nitty-gritty. We got NBA Finals recap. The Oklahoma City Thunder are your 2025 NBA champions. Then after that, we're going to go over some MLS news, FIFA Club World Cup, Gold Cup with the U.S. men's national team, and everything else in between. And then finally, we got the rundown, so stick around for that. We're going to be going over some old stuff, some new stuff. So, yeah, should be a fun time. But, Danny, just to check in with you, how have you been? What you been up to?
I've been chilling. Just a little busy with work and whatnot, but nothing crazy. What about you, Rob?
Oh, yeah, same as well. I mean, it's been a interesting summer with the weather and all. So, like, at work, it's either really chilly in the shade or very hot in the sun. Yep. But, we just keep pushing.
Yeah. Besides that, if you guys didn't see, Robert and I went to Dodger games together. Rambling Runoff live at the Dodger Stadium. It was pretty fun. It was a blast. People around us having a blast. Dodgers won. We didn't get to see a Ohtani home run, but we saw a home run from Rojas. Baez.
Yep.
Doing all his possibly all-star worthy things. So it was a great outing.
No, yeah. I mean, it was I'm just glad that they won because the last time I had gone to a Dodger game, they lost.
No, you're a curse.
I am not a curse. Well, obviously, they didn't lose when I went.
Every time I've gone, they've won.
That's crazy work.
I've never seen them lose.
I've seen them lose periodically, but I don't know what happened when I went. It was just kind of a fluke, I guess you could say. But they did get swept by the Angels. They were on a losing streak around that time.
Oh, yeah, they did get swept by the Angels. Yeah.
It was very odd to see.
Right.
Dustin May did not have a good outing that day. He hit two guys back to back.
That's tough.
I was like, how did you lose control?
That is tough.
But, yeah, I mean, Danny, what was your favorite part about the game?
Hanging out with you, Rob. Hanging out with our buddies. A whole lot of fun. Other than that, my favorite part was seeing Oscar Hernandez, my boy. We sat in right field, and he happened to be fielding right side. So it was awesome.
No, yeah, I mean, it was a good time. I had a good time. We had pretty good seats in my opinion.
Yeah, we had great seats. Had a couple fly balls go over our heads.
Yo, for real, I told Danny, catch it.
Dude, I tried. And I watched it zoom over.
There was one that was pretty close, but it just kept flying over.
Right, and then the other one landed short into the field.
And then the other one, Oscar caught it.
Yeah. But what a great time. What a great time it was.
It was really good. But, Danny, are you ready to hop on and get the show on the road?
Yes, sir.
All right, speaking of the Dodgers, speaking of baseball, we got the warm-up for you to start off today. And we got Shohei Ohtani being up in front and center in the news headlines once again as the Dodgers, as of last week, put him back on the mound to pitch. Pitch and bat, by the way. And now 2 games, by the way. I know we're a little behind, but yeah, in 2 games now he has pitched and batted in the same game, or I should say pitched and started the lineup. So very rare company he has joined. Just to go over with you guys, it's been nearly 22 months after making his previous big league start, 21 months after undergoing a second major surgery on his right elbow, and 18 months after signing a then record contract with the Los Angeles Dodgers. Ohtani made an anticipated return to the mound in a 6-3 Monday night victory over the Padres. if the information I found through the internet is correct, he threw 28 pitches, 16 strikes, and he clocked in a powerful 102 miles per hour with his four-seamer, which was tied with Michael Kopech, which we saw pitch, by the way, for the
Yes,
Dodgers'
sir.
second fastest pitch of the season, behind Roki Sasaki, who reached up 100.5. 14 of Ohtani's pitches registered at or above 98 miles per hour. Danny, what does that tell you about Ohtani going out, not throwing in real games? Like, what is your reaction to that?
I think maybe it's a little early. But I mean, he showed Ohtani. What are you gonna do? You send him to the minor leagues. I think it's just a business decision. You have him pitch in major leagues because it puts butts in the seats.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully he doesn't injure himself. So, just health wise, it's not gonna hurt himself or the team by him going out. But other than that, I mean, it's great. I think you know, even his first two showings, he's not handing runs away to the other team. They're decent. So yeah, let him roll. Let him get warmed up and whatnot. Yeah, I want to see Ohtani pitch myself.
No, yeah. I mean, once or let me start over. I have a coworker of mine. He said him and his dad were just watching TV. They were just watching the game, and just by dumb chance, he was like, "Oh, I wonder how much the tickets are right now." And he's like $75. Oh, okay, that's not that bad. And literally, as the game is winding down and news starts like slithering around that Otani's gonna pitch, he said he checked and that the ticket prices doubled from when he had
Yeah,
checked.
instantly.
And all those
Yep.
people paid double, triple the price just to see him pitch one inning, which, by the way, was not a really good inning in my opinion. I mean, it was not good. Like, let's be honest. He
Right.
allowed a run. He was throwing a lot of balls. He had no control, no command on his pitches. I mean, it was still crazy to see him throwing 100 miles per hour
Yeah.
outside fastball, four-seamer.
Yeah.
Like,
I think he
what's...
was really working on targeting those corners of the box and whatnot. But I
Yeah,
don't
he
know.
kept missing.
Yeah, he did.
But hey, you got to start somewhere. And like how you kind of mentioned, and I did see this on, I think it was the Rich Eisen show. They were talking about it, and they were like, yeah, the Dodgers literally did so. They basically did a figurative slap to the face of the Padres, and I didn't realize it either because I'm just like, oh, Tony's gonna pitch, like this is cool. But I know I had spoken to you when we went to the game. They basically had Ohtani, like how you said, like they didn't send him down to the minors. They had him do a rehab assignment
No, yeah,
right then
in the
and
major
there.
leagues. Yeah,
Yes,
during a
because
pretty contested series.
yes, against not your rival, but a formidable
Right.
foe
I mean,
in the Padres.
in division heated team, I guess, if you don't want to call them a rival.
Yes, and like I said, slap to the face because you were not gonna send your best hitter to the minors. You weren't gonna send him to fucking Rancho Cucamonga to go pitch whatever innings and then have him come back. Like, you're just not gonna do that. Like, that would be insane. Like, he's Shohei Ohtani. Like, I'm pretty sure Dave Roberts or one of the managers were gonna walk up to him and be like, "Hey, bro, we need you to go like to the middle of nowhere real quick and throw some pitches and then come back." Like, you weren't gonna about to just fuck up your whole lineup. Like, that would be crazy. But yeah, the Dodgers literally went out there and they did that. I mean, yeah, the Padres started out really well. I think Ohtani was once he came back to the plate was a little slow in figurative words. Like, he didn't really get to do much at the plate. But the Dodgers were able to rally and they got the 6-3 win. So it didn't really hurt them. Because I think they had Banda come out and then pitch, and I forgot who came out after that. But it seemed like a bullpen day, and they're like, "Oh, we'll just throw out Ohtani and see what happens."
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, you said you think it's too soon. I think it's the right time. Because look, it would have been almost 2 years that he hadn't been a pitcher.
Right.
So, I mean, when is the right time? Like, why are you gonna wait? If he's good, is he ready to go? He's ready to go. And
Yeah.
also another thing too for the Dodgers, like for some reason, they cannot get the pitching right. It's so weird. I remember a couple years ago, like you had like a good 3 to 5 starters, like Kershaw, Greinke, Hyun-Shin Ryu, Yu Darvish, and they had in Max Scherzer for a bit. Like that was a solid like squad coming in and out. Obviously, things happen. They had a Trevor Bauer got into some mucky water, which apparently wasn't his fault. They had to dump Julio Rios, like, and then people just kept dropping like flies because they kept getting hurt. So if they use them sparingly, I'm fine with that. And who knows, maybe as or with time, he will develop to his old self. Or if not, you could just dump him in there like Kike. I don't know. It doesn't sound like a bad idea to me.
Still a better pitcher than Kike. Come on now.
I mean, of course, like duh.
Come on.
But yeah, that Monday game marked the 12th time he's batted in the leadoff spot and started a game on the mound. He's just the 4th starting pitcher to bat leadoff since 1900, forming an exclusive club with Cesar Tovar, who did it in 1968 of September, and Al Dark, who also did it in September, coincidentally, in 1953. And then, what the hell? 3 for 3 on September's. Jim Jones, September 30th, 1901, all whom only did so once. And Ohtani's already done it twice. That's insane, dude. And I'm just tripping out because this is almost near my birthday, which is pretty coincidental. But yeah, he had that second outing. He was finally able to get that recorded first strike, or I should say 2 strikeouts. Excuse me. He did go. He had someone ground out, and he got the 2 strikeouts, in that second start, and that very convincing 13-7 series clinching win over the Nationals, who we were lucky to see on that Friday night. Prior to that, he tossed 1 inning on 18 pitches, 12 strikes, and looked much sharper, of course, ever since that Monday start. Ohtani also hit his 26th homer in the 8th inning, after a crew chief overturned the original double call to reclaim sole possession of the National League lead in home runs. Ohtani drove in 5 runs in all, also with a bases clearing triple in the 7th. So hasn't lost a step. Like I said, I think once he gets used to throwing again at that velocity, I think we'll have a diamond in the rough. What do you think?
Okay, stop saying diamond in the rough like he's not this generation's Babe Ruth. Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's gonna be a decent pitcher. He's just warming up and getting back into it. We'll see. He's gonna pitch great.
I mean, I'm only saying that because the Dodgers don't have a lot of good pitchers right now. So I feel like to the Dodgers, he's way more worth the paycheck.
Mm-hmm. Certainly.
Like they're saving.
I mean,
saving
even if
grace
he's just batting,
on the mound,
he's worth the $700 million.
Oh no, yeah, he's worth every penny.
Certainly.
But I feel like on the mound right now, he's like they're safe. What's this? They're safe scapegoat. I don't know.
Scapegoat.
My English is scapegoat. There you go. Thank you. I don't know. My English metaphor simile wasn't working right there. I don't know why.
It's all right.
But
all of us forget English sometimes.
No, yeah, I'd be like that sometimes. It was only just the first language I learned. But yeah, Danny, do you have anything else to add upon the Dodgers and Shohei Ohtani?
They're on a roll. Hopefully, we get to go to another Dodger game together this season. Yeah. We'll see. Maybe we go to the Oscar bobblehead night. That'll be fun.
Oh yeah. Was that in July?
Yeah, I think it's the 22nd.
Yeah. Cause also just to let everyone know, that was the first game me and Danny have ever gone together. So that was really fun.
That was really fun.
Cracked open a couple of cold ones.
Mm-hmm.
Got a mysterious beverage.
Yeah, it got scammed off of freaking Jinro Soju. God damn it.
Not a sponsor.
And not a sponsor. We got a weird cocktail soju instead of the real deal
A
and the
regular
smaller
one.
cup. Somehow paid more for it. God damn it. Anyway,
Hey, we got a
thanks a
cool
lot, Dodger
souvenir cup
Stadium.
out of it at least.
Yeah, I guess so. It's a little sugar cup. Maybe I'll make my mixed drinks in here. Make an old fashioned.
No, dude, for real.
Yeah.
Hey,
I
I
got mine
paid you
right
half
here. I'm
for half
staring
of
at
it.
it.
But just to give you guys a quick update, the Dodgers are in first in the NL West with a record of 40-31 and a winning percentage of .608. Right behind them is the Giants with a record of 44-34. Other records of note. Let me see. What did it expanded? No, what is the standings? League. Here we go. We have the Detroit
What did you say? Dodgers
Tigers.
40-31? 48-31. Right?
48-31.
There it is.
I said 48, bro.
They said 40. Yeah, that's not me.
And then ahead of them is the Detroit Tigers at 49-30. Houston is at 45-33. The Yankees 45-33 as well. And then down next to the Dodgers, we got the Phillies at 47-31, and the Cubbies at 46-32. So yeah, Dodgers holding their own in the division and in the National League as well. But Danny, are you ready to move on now in our coverage here?
Yes, sir.
Alrighty, bet. Next up, we got the good stuff. Danny, the NBA Finals have wrapped up. The Oklahoma City Thunder are your 2025 NBA Finals champions after defeating the Indiana Pacers in 7 games. And the final score of that game was 103-91. This was the NBA Finals first Game 7 since 2016 and the 20th over the league's 79 seasons of existence. The home team is now 16-4 in these games. Oklahoma City won 68 regular season games, tied for the 6th most in NBA history, set a league record for average margin of victory, 12.9 points per game, and had the league MVP on its side before reaching its crowning achievement. Danny, what is your initial reaction to the Thunder being victorious over the Pacers?
My initial reaction was we were right. OKC, we took it. My second reaction is it's a shame that Tyrese Halliburton got hurt. Shouts out to him. Hope he has a quick recovery. It's crazy that we got 3 players with an Achilles injury in the postseason. 4 players in this season total, if you include Kyrie Irving. Yeah, I mean, who knows where the game would have gone if Halliburton didn't get hurt and he was able to play out the rest of the game. But yeah, the Pacers were able to fight through basically this whole series on such a Cinderella run to get to Game 7 in the finals. They've been great all season, especially after the All-Star break, and they've been absolutely electric in the postseason. Tyrese Halliburton and Pascal Siakam have been lighting up every game. TJ McConnell with a couple star games here and there. But the OKC Thunder, solid all the way through. They ran through the West. Arguably, to some, a very easy set of Western matchups. Concluded with the Minnesota Timberwolves kind of steamrolling them. Gave one game back, but yeah, I mean, Oklahoma City has been a very strong team, a very deep team. Whether you like it or not, they're the NBA champions. The discussion around Shea and foul baiting and whatnot, I think, will definitely carry into next season. I think the NBA, they won't make any official rule changes or whatnot, but I think definitely in the next season, to increase viewership and whatnot, we will see a lot less calls, and the NBA will be a lot more physical. Foul baiting and going up without even an attempt to score, just tossing the ball at the basket is not going to be a true foul anymore. Yeah, so I think we're going to move from a lot of immediate whistles to late whistles if the attempt seemed, I don't know, like a worthy attempt to score through contact and whatnot. So we'll see. But shouts out to J-Dub. I felt like J-Dub really carried this team through even when Shea was not there. In the games that Shea was not doing great and whatnot, they really focused him down. Yeah, J-Dub was there. He had an increasing increasingly efficient and productive scoring line through, I think, 5 games in this final series. So shout out to J-Dub. Chet Holmgren, you need to put on a little bit of weight. You'll get tossed around down there by Pascal Siakam and Miles Turner, Obi Toppin. Put on a little weight. Isaiah Hartenstein, another true hero. And Alex Caruso joins elite company in being the third player in the 2020s decade to win 2 championships, joining Drew Holiday and KCP. So KCP, Caruso, Drew Holiday, the only 3 players to win 2 NBA titles in the 2020s. And then I got one last final fact for you, Rob, before you give your 2 cents. The NBA Finals viewership was decreasing every year since 1998. And this Game 7 Finals is the only game that saw viewership surpass any of the viewership since 2020, where viewership increased year to year, but did not meet the same viewership as in 1998. So this Game 7 was the most watched NBA Finals game in a hot minute. But yeah, Rob, what do you think about the OKC Thunder winning the 2025 NBA Larry O'Brien Trophy and concluding the season?
I mean, I'm just glad that the Thunder won because we had predicted that. I mean, like I said, they would need really good defense, which you saw throughout the series that defense wins championships. But like how you kind of alluded to, like Shea, he was missing a bunch of shots,
right,
every so often in games, and I was like, ugh, like you could tell there was no experience on that side of their ball knowledge, because there'd be times where they're just like trying to run up the court and shoot as quick as possible, and I'm like, dude, you guys are up by 10. You guys got 5 minutes left in the quarter. Like, you guys should already start developing plays, slowing down your offense, because what started happening was they were chucking up so many shots and missing that's what was leaving the door open for the Pacers, and that's how they were going to beat you. Like, they were the ones that were, finding the high percentage shots and knocking them down. And the Thunder were the ones that were on, like, the back foot, like, oh, shit, like, what do we do? Like, bro, I don't know if it was a coaching decision. I don't know if the players just said, fuck it, we'll do it live, and we'll figure it out. But, yeah, that was the one thing that was bothering me, but I'm just glad that the Thunder, were able to figure it out. I thought maybe they would close it out in Game 6, but like I said, they just were playing a little sloppy at times. But I feel like also that was what kind of messed up the Pacers' game plan a little bit, was the craziness of it all, especially on defense. I felt like also what wasn't being focused on, especially on the broadcast, was points off of turnovers. They're like, oh, the Thunder have 20 steals or 10 steals and 5 blocks. Like, okay, that's cool, but what did they do once they got the ball? What was the aftermath? Like, where was it a positive impact? Like, you can steal the ball you want, but once you get back on offense, it's like, what are you gonna do now?
Yeah, you gotta convert it.
Yeah, and I feel like that's what was going wrong in like those other games where, like Game 1, for example, like the Thunder were leading the whole time, except for like 0.3 seconds.
Right. And I think specifically that game, and we learned into the rest of the series, that when they default to Shea, when they give him the ball and expect him to make a play, they change their play style up, and you want to let the MVP win you the game. You change the identity of the team. Like OKC Thunder do well when they pass the ball, when they move, they run like a couple offensive schemes and pass to their most open man. And when you go to ISO ball, Shea is great at foul baiting and whatnot, but he's a decent ISO player, but in the clutch, you can't count on him. That's good. That's okay. But make an offensive play to get someone open. And like you said, I think
you didn't see
especially
any of
in
that.
Game 1, down to the clutch, give the game away. And then even into game 3, you saw a little bit of that, and very much into the end of the series, they switched back and kept their identity, passing the ball around and whatnot. So I think they learned. I think they learned that Chet was too small in the paint. They lost a lot of rebounds that I think most people would assume that OKC would get, but second chance points were where Indiana dominated, and where OKC would typically dominate, like you said, in points off steals or turnovers. The Indiana Pacers did great. They pushed for guarding 94 feet. Everyone who brought the ball up, they guarded from baseline to baseline. So they caused a lot of turnovers, but like you said, weren't able to convert all the time. But I think that's a lesson learned for the Indiana Pacers. And once Tyrese Halliburton gets healthy, hopefully they're able to make another run. I don't know if it's going to be this upcoming season, but maybe the next. We'll see where they go.
No, yeah, I mean, just to kind of give more background on this game in the series, SGA, he is the first player in 25 years to win regular season MVP, the scoring crown, and finals MVP in the same season.
Right.
The Pacers, as we mentioned, did make it tough for him. Like in that last game, he shot 8 of 27, Danny, but he was 11 of 12 at the foul line. And, he did give the team 2 blocks and a steal. He averaged 30.3 points in the series, which is still insane considering he was still throwing up bricks.
Right.
I'm just like, how? But like I also mentioned, J-Dub, Jalen Williams, he added 20 points and 2 steals for the Thunder. And I don't think he's that tiny, but I can see why he wasn't as effective in the paint. Chet Holmgren, he contributed 18 points, 8 boards, and 5 blocks. I mean, that's where the trade-off is. He's just puts his hand up and he's gonna play defense for you. The Thunder are the second youngest team, and at least the last 70 years to win a finals with an average age per player of 25.56. When weighted for playoff games played, according to the league, only the 1976-77 champion Portland Trailblazers were younger by an average age of about half a year per player. Let me see what else I got for you here. They are the 7th different team to win the finals in as many seasons. This is the longest drought of a repeat champion in NBA history, but they were constructed unlike any other previous 6 champions because they were not a super team, mega team, whatever team you want to call them. Like, what do you think about that, Danny? That they don't have any big names, I guess you could say. Not that SGA isn't a big name, but he was not of the same mold as the past couple of years. What's your opinion on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's how the league is turning. What we know as superstars are, people who are older, players who are a little bit older, establish their name and whatnot. It's tougher. I think this is the time changing of the guard. Even Nikola Jokic is on the younger side of a superstar. Yeah, I mean, I think it is just incredibly tough to run back-to-back victories as the champion because the caliber of player increases every year. Even your bench guy that comes out on an off game can drop 30, 25. Just the scoring capability of everyone is up. That might decrease the amount of defense being played across the league, but I think just the average capability of the individual player is higher, so that those stars have to shine brighter. So I think it puts a larger microscope and a larger burden on players that you expect to carry the load. But that means you have to find those diamonds in the rough that are just right before a star. I don't know what you want to call them, a moon. I don't know. But people like J-Dub who can take over a game. Chet Holmgren, arguably a star that can, a great starter or even a great bench player like Alex Caruso, so that when your stars aren't in there or when you need something productive, they're there. Those players I think are becoming increasingly more valuable. And Austin Reeves, a dang, who else across the league? Um, Contavious Caldwell Pope, Desmond Bain. You can argue, those guys that are second, third options, they're becoming increasingly more valuable. And I think those are going to be the keys to a team running a back to back because, excuse me, this OKC team, they have not only future stars on their roster, but they have an incredible amount of draft picks to draft future stars and secure their future. If not trade for bigger players that would allow them to run perhaps the first back to back in, I guess it would be 8 years. If they do it again next season, right? So yeah, Rob, I think just the caliber of player individually has gone up, and it's tougher on the stars. So I think role players, or the others, as Shaq would say, really have to step up and become, second stars themselves.
Yeah, I totally agree. On the other side, the Pacers, they almost had it. Their star player, Tyrese Halliburton, he had already been playing with a strained right calf since Game 5. I know we alluded to it. He did pick up an injury. He fell without contact as he was attempting to dribble past SGA. And right when he went down, immediately started pounding the court in agony. He couldn't get up. I was able to watch the replay.
Yeah, you can see
his
tendon snap.
Yeah, like his already, we said his calf was already busted. His dad spoke with the ESPN broadcast team. He unfortunately did tear his Achilles on a non-contact play, and it sparked immediate talks. Considering Kevin Durant also had similar issues in what was the 2019 finals.
2018.
Yeah, 2018, 2019. That's what I was able to find. But yeah, apparently he had like a
as well.
Yeah, that too. Halliburton was suffering from Achilles tendonitis, which basically once you get that, from what I was looking up, is once you get that, you're already on the road to significant damage of the Achilles.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, you gotta treat it. You gotta treat it like if your elbow's sore,
right?
But except that part of the body is much more sensitive because you have to walk, you have to run,
right?
And especially the way he plays, like you see when he extends his leg, it looks like his foot gets stuck in the ground, and then he just collapsed. So, right. I mean, yeah, it's
that loading of the foot to burst forward.
Yes, exactly.
But from what I'm hearing of sports doctors and whatnot, it's rare to re-tear that same Achilles. Incredibly rare. There's no guarantees in medicine, but I hear it's incredibly rare. It's almost the only guarantee that a doctor may give you. But that does not stop him from possibly tearing the other Achilles while he nurses the one that he's likely probably going to go into surgery in the next couple days to repair.
I mean, he's apparently he's not going to be back for even next year, at least, because it's just one of those injuries that you have to nurse and you have to rehab, and you have to make sure that whole entire, your foot, your leg, your whole entire muscle there is, your Achilles is fully healed, and you're just going to have to play the waiting game, unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
I mean,
well, Rob, is that your final word on the finals? Let's hop into a couple trade rumors, Rob. A couple trades that happened.
All right. Yeah, for sure. What you got for me, man?
All right. Big breaking news. Not breaking, but the biggest trade news, I guess, is Kevin Durant
big
going
splash.
to the Houston Rockets, trading Jalen Green, Denham Brooks, the 10th pick in 2025, and I believe it's 4 second-round picks, Rob, or is that 5 second-round picks?
I'm not sure, but good thing we have the internet. I could double check for you.
Yes, sir. That's the biggest trade. I believe this puts the Houston Rockets in a better position. It puts the Phoenix Suns in a strange spot, having Jalen Green, having basically another long wing. But they can either keep them. A lot of people I don't think so, but a lot of others are thinking that they are going to swing him for another star to assist uh, Devin Booker in Phoenix. But I'm unsure of that because Bradley Beal remains an anchor holding the Phoenix Suns down. All of that salary and cap space with the no trade clause. So I think if the Phoenix Suns want to do anything, they need to break themselves free of Bradley Beal, but that's up to Bradley Beal himself to
I have your information now,
basically
by the way.
yes. What is it? Is it 4 or 5 second round picks?
Oh, according to ESPN, the Phoenix Suns have agreed on a blockbuster trade, sending 15-time NBA All-Star Kevin Durant to the Houston Rockets for Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks, the number 10 pick in this year's draft, and 5 second-round picks.
5
Sources told
seconds.
ESPN this past Sunday.
There's Rob. Thanks for recapping the whole trade again. Another trade that happened earlier this month.
The Trailblazers.
Right. Wait, what? Trailblazers?
Yeah.
No.
Drew Holiday trade.
Not this month, fool. I said earlier this month. God damn.
Oh, my bad.
Okay,
Sorry,
wait. Let me
yeah,
go back a little bit. Desmond Bane, Memphis Grizzlies gets traded to Orlando Magic for 4 unprotected first round picks, KCP, and Cole Anthony. An incredibly huge trade in terms of assets given up by Orlando to the Memphis Grizzlies for Desmond Bane, a decent shooter, and a decent guard, but so many assets given up by Orlando. I believe that they just think that they need a young guy who is better at handling the ball, and they give up on Cole Anthony. And they released KCP, I believe, in goodwill, because he wasn't getting much playing time in Orlando anyway, and they released him to a team that could either swing him for, or swing him to a better contender, for another player or picks, or give him playing time and do the same thing that he should have done in Orlando, be a nice playing vet. But Rob, as you were saying, today 2 pieces of trade news broke. The first one, if I'm wanting to go in order, CJ McCollum was traded to the Wizards for Jordan Poole, and a couple of picks, I believe. Let me see the exact trade. The New Orleans Pelicans agreed to trade CJ McCollum, and Kelly Olynyk and a future second-round pick to the Wizards for Jordan Poole and Sadiq Bey and the 40th overall pick in the second round of the NBA draft. But Rob, as you were saying, that's small news, whatever. It's kind of a nothing burger. Pelicans get rid of CJ McCollum and they bring in younger assets. Jordan Poole. I think they're just rebuilding in total. They're cleaning house. I think Zion will be traded this offseason. That's my prediction. Zion and hopefully Brandon Ingram, so they can clear house completely. But we'll see. But Rob, you want to go over what you jumped the gun for? Tell me about that Portland Trailblazers trade.
I didn't know you were. Well, we're running out of time. I didn't know you were going to go over the whole NBA trade.
There's only 4 trades that happened. 4 big trades.
The Portland Trailblazers trade Anthony Simmons to the Celtics for Drew Holiday. Drew Holiday returning back to where he was prior to that. So back to Portland. So yeah, I mean, not as big as the KD trade, but still significant. Oh. And also, I just happened to go on ESPN, and why are they saying Porzingis to the Hawks?
Yeah, I don't know. I just saw that right now. Kristaps Porzingis traded to the Hawks.
Literally right now, bro.
Yeah, it's breaking news.
Yo, for real.
Boston Celtics made 2 key moves. One of those being the Drew Holiday trade, and the other sending Kristaps Porzingis to the Atlanta Hawks. So we'll see what the details of it are. This is like actually breaking 6 minutes ago.
I got you. The Hawks, Celtics, and Nets agreed to a 3-team deal Tuesday that saw the Celtics send center Kristaps Porzingis and second-round pick to the Hawks, while Terrence Mann and Atlanta's number 22 pick headed to the Brooklyn Nets. And finally, Niang and a second rounder landed with the Celtics, sources told ESPN's Shams Shanari. So yeah,
George Niang. Yeah. That's great news. I think Drew Holiday is going to be swung for something else. No one's going to let him rot in Portland like that.
That's crazy.
What do you mean? That's crazy. I think this is a part of the Celtics offloading. They're in the second apron. They have to get down. Otherwise, they can't trade for picks and whatnot. So this is part of that. Jason Tatum being out means that next season is a tank season. So, yeah, this is part of that. I think Porzingis can definitely stay on the Hawks, but I think that they will also swing him. They don't need a setter like that is not totally injury prone, but I think that they can swing him for other assets with the youth and talent they have. So, but we'll see, Rob. We spent a little too much time at NBA. I'm ready to move on if you are.
Just a tad. But yeah, that was all good. All good info we got out to the peoples. Yeah, moving on now from the hardwood to the sometimes soft grass or artificial turf, whichever country or place you may be playing at. We got some soccer news. I'm just going over the greatest hits that's been happening over the past month in the world and the game of world football. Well, of course, I got to start here domestically. We have Major League Soccer. I'm just going over some match day 19 score lines and what to look forward to in the coming week. Yeah, from when we last saw everybody, San Diego defeated Minnesota 4-2. We had a Christopher McVeigh own goal in the 8th. Kelvin Yeboah scored for Minnesota in the 38th. And then for San Diego, Andres Dreyer once again on the score sheet, getting a goal in the 11th, 66th minute with the penalty. And then Milan Iloski in the 75th and 90-plus minute of the game. The game I was able to watch on television was the LA Galaxy versus St. Louis City SC. They played to a 3-3 draw as the Galaxy are currently unbeaten in 2 matches, in which they have 1 victory and 1 draw under their belt. The Galaxy almost did escape with a very narrow victory. They were up 3-2 miraculously. Into Joao Klaus closed off his night, or day I should say, with a hat-trick. The Galaxy scoreline reads as Gabriel Peck in the 41st and 87th minute. And then Mateus Nascimento also got his first goal of the season in the 51st minute. And as I mentioned, Joao Klaus with the hat-trick in the 35th, 47th minute, and 90th minute of the game. And then for your Columbus Crew, Danny, they were victorious 2-1 over the Vancouver Whitecaps. Ibrahim Ayew scored in the 2nd minute and Diego Rossi scored in the 23rd. And for Vancouver, it was Jean-Claude Nyandu in the 6th minute of play. And then your MLS player of the match day for match day 19 was obviously Joao Klaus. The 28-year-old Brazilian now has 5 goals this year, leading the team in matching his 2024 total just past the midway point of the 2025 season. The first designated player in St. Louis history, Klaus is also the club's all-time leading scorer with 20 regular season goals. St. Louis became the 31st club to record an MLS hat-trick, only the Portland Timbers and San Diego FC have yet to have a player score 3 goals in a MLS match. And now moving forward here for you guys, matches to watch for match day 20. They did take a small break, so we're finally here. As of tomorrow, MLS action returns. So Wednesday, June 25th, as you are listening to this recording, we got the Columbus Crew versus Atlanta United on Apple TV, MLS Season Pass, 4:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We also have Vancouver versus the San Diego FC, also on Apple TV at 4:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And then we move on to the weekend. We got a couple games to highlight from Saturday and Sunday. Inter Miami would take on Atlanta United, also on Apple TV, MLS Season Pass at 4:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And then we got a rivalry game once again between the LA Galaxy and San Jose Earthquakes. The Galaxy travel up to San Jose to go up against their longtime rival. That game is also on Apple TV at 4:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And then, all right, last time I kind of goofed up. I looked at the schedule, and I saw the Sunday night soccer games were supposed to be a doubleheader because the games were at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So I was like, oh, those should be the night games because in the East Coast, it's 9 p.m. I thought those were the Sunday night games. But no, they picked a game that was like at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time and 6 p.m. on the East Coast as the Sunday night soccer game. It was very odd. So I am going to gamble and say that this is the Sunday night soccer match that will be televised, as it is at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, which is LAFC versus the Vancouver Whitecaps on Apple TV. So I'm not complaining, but I do make content, very slight content, for this, and I don't want to have to redo it last minute because the league doesn't know how a clock works. I would like to point that out. Do you get what I'm saying, Danny?
Yeah. I mean, get the fucking rules right. Am I right, Rob?
Yeah, it was very weird. I was like, why is it called Sunday Night Soccer and then you guys are televising the day game? What? But sure, whatever. I don't make the schedule. But yeah, those are your games that I'd like to highlight. So yeah, go check them out. Let me see. And let's go over the standings very quickly, as they have changed just a little bit since the last time we've talked. In the Eastern Conference, we have Philadelphia with 37 points, Cincinnati right behind them with 33 points, Nashville, Columbus, Orlando, and Miami, and then New York City rounding out the top 7. And then in the 8th and 9th slots, we got New York, Red Bulls, and then Charlotte. In the Western Conference, it's still Vancouver at the top with 35 points. San Diego up there still with 33 points. Minnesota with 30 points. So yeah, San Diego beating Minnesota was big. They didn't want Minnesota to catch up to them. Now they're probably going to start leaving them in the dust, hopefully. And 4th, we got Portland Timbers. 5th is LAFC. 6th place is Seattle. And then in 7th is Austin. And the 8th and 9th spots, respectively, is the San Jose Earthquakes and the Colorado Rapids. So if I were the LA Galaxy, I would try to beat Colorado and San Jose this week, as the Galaxy do play Colorado tomorrow and then San Jose over the weekend. So they could quintessentially turn their season around right now. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. You can have, over the next 2 games, you can have 14 points and get yourself back into this race. Quintessentially. But that is either here nor there. Danny, have you been able to watch any soccer lately?
No, I have not. NBA Finals, man, takes up all my capabilities. All my power is focused on the finals.
I knew you were going to say that. I just wanted to see what was the answer, but it came out better than I expected. Other than that, yeah, I mean, it's been pretty good in the MLS, so make sure you go check out your local team. In other news, outside of the MLS, we have the FIFA Club World Cup. The round of 16 is set to begin this week as group play is wrapping up. As of this recording, there are a few teams that have qualified into the round of 16. We have Palmeiras, Group A winners, Inter Miami, Group A runners-up, PSG, Group B winners, Botafogo, Group B runners-up, FC Bayern Munich have qualified, Flamengo are Group D winners, Juventus has also qualified, and Manchester City has also automatically qualified. Inter Miami is currently the only MLS team to qualify out of the group stage, as Seattle was knocked out, and LAFC was also eliminated after their second game. But you want to hear what's crazy, Danny? So, Inter Miami qualified, right? PSG qualified. Now they will both match up on... Dang it, I did not write the day down. Duh. They will both match up very soon. Why did I not do this? This is some great stuff, huh, Danny?
Yes, sir.
Let's see. Some great content here. There we go. Sunday, June 29th. Oh, this guy wrote it down. Duh, I wrote it in my notes. Sunday, June 29th, PSG will face off against Miami in Atlanta, Georgia, at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 12 p.m. Eastern, and you can watch that matchup on DAZN. And yeah, I don't know if do you know the importance of this match, Danny?
No, I do not.
So there used to be this guy. He used to play for PSG. They thought he was going to be their messiah and help them win the UEFA Champions League. They almost got it. Swing and a miss, doesn't work out. He leaves the club. He now plays for this other little club now here in the U.S. called Inter Miami. So you got two of Messi's teams in a game. Who would have predicted this? You got Messi's current team and his former team. That's insane, bro. That's some compelling television for you right there.
Wow.
And yeah, that wouldn't have been possible if they were not playing in this tournament. Maybe those FIFA people do know what they're doing.
Maybe they do.
Just putting in teams for no reason. AKA Inter Miami. But yeah, it should be a good matchup. I'm excited to see it. Oh, try to see it because on DAZN, I don't have DAZN. Do you know anybody that has that DAZN?
No. I used to pay for it when I was watching more boxing, but
yeah, that's what I was going to say. Yeah, so I'm like, not even Tracy Morgan could convince me to buy that shit.
Dude, calm down.
That was also a crazy. You never saw those commercials? That was crazy.
I did.
That was crazy marketing. I'm like, why is he here? Did he need the money? Is he okay?
Dude, yeah, he need the money, man.
It was very odd. But yeah, I think this tournament has been somewhat of a success. Although you may, as a non-soccer person, Danny, you may look up the FIFA Club World Cup and be like, hey, half of these stadiums are empty. And yes, that is true. No one wants to see some random African team play some random Asia team in Orlando at 3 p.m. in the middle of the summer.
Yeah.
That's just a given. And yeah, it has been a little hot. Some of the players are saying that it's been too hot. Like, remember, like last week it was like 90 degrees.
Yeah. It was like mid-90s.
Mid-90s. And then some of the players were like, it's too hot. I'm like, bro, it's the Rose Bowl. What'd you expect?
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, we would go play that Sunday league, bro. So I think a little soft on the player side. But also, I would like to point out a lot of these players, a lot of the European teams, do not play day games for this reason. Because it just gets a little too hot running around for 90 minutes. Which is fair. But once the World Cup gets here, are we just going to have... We can't just have pure night games. That's not going to happen.
Yeah.
They're going to... The tournament, FIFA is going to lose that international audience because they're not playing the game at 12 p.m. So it's going to be a little bit of a lose-lose, but I think by the time the World Cup gets here, they'll have that all figured out. I feel like this is just a very expensive test run for the actual World Cup. But apparently, I think they're content. FIFA is content with the outcome of all the fans coming, like the Boca Junior fans, River Plate. Dude, a lot of these like South American teams, like bro, they're running deep. Every time there's like a big team in town from like South America, bro, I don't think anybody has ever seen that type of support ever in this country. So it's pretty cool. So I like it. That's why I feel like this tournament is somewhat of a success considering you're starting to get a feel and that notoriety of what the sport brings to the world. So yeah, like Danny, if you were to go online and just type in River Plate supporters USA or whatever, like you would be like, what the fuck? Like smoke bombs and everyone's just chanting their lungs out. Like it looks pretty cool in my opinion.
Okay, maybe I'll take a look into it. Yeah, I know the football fans be going crazy.
I don't know, for real. It's just the only other problem was that, I mean, obviously it's FIFA, it's a money grab still. And yeah, some of those tickets were just ridiculously expensive. And no one's going to pay no $900 for a nosebleed. Fuck out of here. What's wrong with you?
All right.
But yeah, I think it's going pretty well. Let's see what the knockout rounds. I mean, not everything is set in stone yet. There are a few other games that are like. Oh, I just had it with me. What happened? Quarterfinals. Nope, not that one. Yeah, Palmeiras is gonna play Botafogo. Benfica is still waiting for an opponent. Flamengo is gonna play Bayern Munich, and then we still gotta wait for the rest of Group Play to wrap up this week. And yeah, we'll jump right into the round of 16. So it should be a good time.
Hell yeah.
And then next up, I also got some Gold Cup news for you, Danny. We
Okay.
got the CONCACAF Gold Cup with the U.S. men's national team. And let's admit, the CONCACAF region does not have the most formidable opponents. In which whenever they play here, we kind of get by. The U.S. was on I think a 4 or 5 game losing streak. But right now they've somewhat turned it around with, let's be honest, a C team, maybe a B team of a roster. And they have won 3 games in a row to qualify to the quarterfinals. In which a lot of people did not think they were going to make it that far, considering they got eliminated at Copa America. They had a piss poor performance at the Nations League, like a month or two, a couple months ago now. So yeah, it's very interesting to see that this team is, turning it around. They opened up play out in San Jose, which also had no people, which was also weird. But I think also they're not playing good. Tickets are expensive, and no one's gonna want to go see that. But I'm pretty sure they regret it a little bit now, considering they did win 5-0 against Trinidad and Tobago. Diego Luna scored. I believe Timothy Tillman got on the board. Or Malik Tillman, excuse me. Patrick Ajiman also got on the board. Brandon Harrison and Haji Wright got on the score for the U.S. And then, their second game, they got a narrow victory against Saudi Arabia. I was able to watch that game. Very scrappy. It was a 1-0 victory. Chris Richards got the lone goal. And then they were lucky enough to edge out Haiti, which I don't know why it was also it should not have been competitive in my opinion. But they were able to win 2-1 as Patrick Ajiman scored in the 75th minute to get the U.S. to win and get them to qualify for the quarterfinals. And Malik Tillman also had a goal in the 10th minute as well. But very odd. I'm not really sure what to think about these victories, considering, they just been laying fat eggs. I don't know if it's the coach, the player dynamic, the player selection. It's just very odd in my opinion. I'm not really sure. I want to support these guys, but they make it very hard when they're always very inconsistent. And I can't really get behind that when they're very inconsistent, because you have really good players on really good teams on the club level, but it's just when you get them together, it's just not clicking. I don't know. I have not figured it out yet. Danny, as an outsider, how does that sound to you? Really good players on paper, but lackluster play on the field. How does that sound to you?
That sucks. It's like
Bruh.
it's like what we did. We overpay for something that underdelivers. You know what I mean? We paid more money for less drink. You know what I mean? It sucks.
Yeah, and then now they got to go play Costa Rica, who just had I believe a 0-0 draw against Mexico the other day. That also ended in controversy. So we have to see what happens next. I think the U.S. can take these guys. Costa Rica was pretty good in the early 2010s or so. Had a decent showing at one of the World Cups not so long ago. Kind of has faltered over the past couple of years. But I think they'll have a good chance. I mean, if they went 0-0 to Mexico, I'm pretty sure we could also go toe-to-toe with these guys. For match info, the game starts at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Fox Sports 1, FS1. And the game will be from Minneapolis, Minnesota. I think Diego Luna has been playing really well. I mean, even when he was playing with, the top brass, the A team, quintessentially, Diego Luna as an MLS guy is just showing everybody that he can be that guy. He could be that spark on the offense. And then behind him, Malik Tillman has been doing really well. And then, as I mentioned before, Chris Richards got the lone goal against Saudi Arabia. And apparently he was talking with the Fox News team, and he said he wants to be that guy. He plays at Crystal Palace. He just wants to represent the country well. He plays in the Premier League. He thinks that he should be pushing himself more to, not just get his name out there, but, get the team over the line. Like, they should be winning games that they should not be dogfights, Like, it should be more relaxed. It should be more skilled. It should be more maintained play. But we have not yet to see it. So
That's what you're
maybe
paying for.
this match. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, like, I have here on my notes. Personally, I need to see more from these guys. Like, some of the guys I was looking at, like, I'm looking at their squad. I'm like, honestly, who is this? And you'll understand this one. Who the fuck is Tingus Pingus? Like, come on.
Come on, you made that up.
No, that's an actual TikTok. Go look it up.
You made that up.
I did not make that up. I wish I did. He's trying to say Christoph Porzingis, by the way. But yeah, I think they could take him. It is still gonna be a tough battle. You still gotta run into Mexico. You're probably gonna run into Jamaica. Maybe you run into Canada. Now, yeah, it's still up in the air for this U.S. team, especially since this is not even the A team, and that's a topic for another day as well, Danny. Yeah, Mexico, Canada, Panama, all top teams. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see how this team continues on in the tournament. And then lastly, the semifinals, they will be July 2nd. If and when the U.S. wins this quarterfinal against Costa Rica. And then the final will be played July 6th from NRG Stadium from Houston, Texas. And finally, lastly, the U.S. women's national team is set to play Ireland in 2 friendlies. They will be played Thursday, June 26th, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on TBS, and then Sunday, June 29th at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on TNT. And that's all I got for you for my soccer news. Dan, do you have anything else to add in regards to the sport?
No,
or
sir.
The world? Or what's going on in your life?
The world? A lot of stuff going on in the world. But nothing I want to talk about right now.
Alrighty. And with that, we are going to get into the rundown. Is that cool with you?
Yes, sir. Let's hop in it.
Alrighty, bet. Alright, we have a lot of stuff to go over, so I'm going to try to go through it slightly quickly. But I know we got a lot of stuff to get out from the attic. The NHL Stanley Cup has also wrapped up, and the Florida Panthers are your 2025 Stanley Cup champions. They beat the Edmonton Oilers for a second straight season. They beat the Panthers 5-1 in Game 6. Edmonton won the series opener in overtime, only for Florida to rebound with wins in Game 2 and double overtime in Game 3. When Edmonton evened the series with an overtime win in Game 4, Florida took a 3-2 series lead by winning Game 5, and thus putting them in a position to win Game 6. Edmonton scored its only goal in the final minutes of Game 6, well after the Panthers had already put away the game by scoring 3 times on Edmonton goaltender Stuart Skinner, in addition to 2 more empty net goals. That's just nasty. They put in an extra player just to get scored on twice with the empty net.
That sucks.
But with its 4-2 series win, Florida is the 10th franchise to win consecutive championships, and first time since Tampa Bay in the 2020-2021 seasons. The championship extended the Panthers' run, continued the league's southern shift, and continued Canada's championship drought to 32 years, with Montreal with Montreal being the last Canadian champion in 1993. 8 teams from Canada have made the Stanley Cup final since, only to come up short. The Oilers are just the 3rd team in the expansion era since 1967-68 to lose in the Stanley Cup final in back-to-back years. Prior to them was the St. Louis Blues in 68 and 70, Boston Bruins 77 to 78, and now the Oilers from 2024 to 2025. So yeah, congratulations to the Florida Panthers. I saw a clip of like their trophy celebration, and Danny, I kid you not, they had it out in the beach.
I mean, what else you can do in Florida?
So you just see like a sea of red, like people are just like having like canopies and tents, like just having a beach day, and these fools are like marching around with the fucking Stanley Cup trophy everywhere.
That's crazy.
I'm like, dude, I look pretty lit, honestly. It looked like a fun time. But yeah, congratulations to the Florida Panthers for winning the Stanley Cup back-to-back years. Moving on here, we got some something that we like to cover every once in a while. We got some golf news for you. JJ Spawn, I believe that's how you pronounce his name, captured his first major title and wins the 125th U.S. Open. Mr. Spawn survived a terrible start and challenging elements to pull away from the pack and capture his first major championship with a 2-stroke victory in this edition of the U.S. Open at Oakmont Country Club this past week, I should say. After birdieing the 17th hole to take a 1-stroke lead, Spawn made, and correct my math here, Danny, 64.5-foot birdie putt on the 18th to secure his unlikely victory and defeat Scotland's Robert McIntyre by 2. Spawn was the only golfer to finish under par at 1 under 279. He posted a 2 over 72 on Sunday and went 3 under the back line. Spawn will collect $4.3 million for the biggest payday of his career. The fellow that finished in second, who was attempting to become the first left-handed golfer to win the U.S. Open, finished 1 over 281. Norway's Victor Hovland finished third at 2 over 282. Spawn grabbed the outright lead at even par by reaching the green with a 309-yard drive on the short par 4 17th hole. His eagle try from 18 feet slid past the hole, but he made a 3.5-foot birdie putt to lead by 1 stroke. Dang, that was a lot to read. Can you explain some of that to me in English?
It was a very hard golfing weekend. We're typically used to a bunch of the names that you might know. You know, Jordan Spieth, Bryson DeChambeau. My God. Who are the golfers that are freaking leaving my head right now?
You're like, I play golf. I don't
Rory
watch golf.
McIlroy, Ricky Fowler, Scotty Scheffler, Xander Schauffele, all those guys. It was an incredibly difficult condition weekend. All of them complained about the conditions and the difficulty of the course and whatnot. So, it was kind of expected that a new guy or a name that you typically don't see very often would likely take it. Someone who's a bit more practiced coming out of the rough and whatnot and such. So, yeah, it was just a very tough weekend. And shout outs to I don't even know how to fucking say his name myself.
JJ Spawn.
Is it Spawn or Spawn? Whatever. JJ Spawn. But similarly, on the flip side, in the LPGA, in the KPMG PGA Tour event, Minjee Lee takes the major title and wins her third, conquering the incredibly windy, incredibly difficult golf course. It was at the Fields Ranch East course, and she won. The purse was $12 million. How much did she win in her bag?
I don't know. You tell me.
She won $1.8 million.
I would take it.
That is crazy. So yeah, congratulations.
And then have the state take half of it.
Lee. So yeah. In the last 2 weekends, 2 of the probably the most difficult course conditions and whatnot played in the PGA and LPGA.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I know, like I said, we don't usually get to cover golf like that, but I saw it pop up, and I was like, oh, we gotta put it in there somewhere. But yeah, Danny, do you have anything else to add before I move on?
No, that's all I got.
All right, moving on. We had the UFL also had its championship weekend. The DC Defenders are UFL champions. The Defenders defeated the Michigan Panthers 58-43. The Defenders' 58 points were the most ever scored in a UFL game and the most scored in the modern era of spring football. It was the first time a UFL team had ever broken the 50-point barrier and just the second time in modern era spring football. DC's quarterback Jordan Ta'amu was named the UFL Championship Game MVP after a set of UFL record was 390 passing yards. Ta'amu completed 21 of his 28 passing attempts with 4 touchdowns. Jaden Mickens hauled in 6 of these passes for 132 yards. And then I know in our last episode, I alluded to this, putting down a bet for this horse race, which I did not. And good thing I didn't, because I would have lost a little bit of money. The Belmont Stakes, the winnings Sovereignty beat out Journalism in a rematch of the Kentucky Derby and Preakness winners. Sovereignty beat out the race favorite Journalism to take the third leg of the Triple Crown, surging through the field in the second half of the race to win by multiple lengths. The victory wins Sovereignty's owner $1.2 million of the $2 million purse, with Journalism getting $360,000, and third place finisher Beza getting $200,000. Those three horses finished in the exact same order at Churchill Downs last month. It's the first time since Justified took the Triple Crown in 2018 that a single horse has won two of the three races. Sovereignty, of course, didn't race in the Preakness. And then we finally catch up to our modern news, some NASCAR. Chase Briscoe wins the Great American Gateway 400 at Pocono Raceway from Long Pond, Pennsylvania. Chase Briscoe has earned a NASCAR Cup Series season best for pole position and the laps in 8 races in his first season driving the famous number 19 Joe Gibbs Racing Toyota. And finally, on Sunday afternoon, that hard work translated into his first trophy, edging his JGR teammate Denny Hamlin in the Great American Gateway 400. It came down to the suspenseful very final laps, Briscoe having to save as much fuel as possible while maintaining the lead the last 34 laps, with Pocono's all-time winningest driver Denny Hamlin and two-time Pocono winner Team Penske's Ryan Blaney directly in his rearview mirror, pushing him lap after lap. He perfectly executed throttle control, helped him maintain the lead and not run out of gas, obviously, ultimately beating out Hamlin across the line by 0.682 seconds to formally punch his win and into the 2025 playoffs. Whew. He's the 32-year-old Indiana native, led a race best 72 of 160 laps on the day and even had enough fuel for the very well-deserved victory celebration. Yeah, I was watching the clips that they had posted about that, and yeah, dude, he was shitting bricks because he couldn't pit. Because if he pit, I think he would have lost a lot of spots, and that would have been it. He would have been donezo. He's like, and his pit crew chief was like, "We're going to make it. Just believe. Like, you just gotta play it smart when you're gonna when you're gonna give it a lot of juice, when you're not gonna give it juice, when you're just gonna let it go." Like, ooh, like even that just gives me nervous. Like, bro, you're on the brink of getting a win here for like the first time, dude. Like, there's no way.
Right.
Like, you could not let it slip out of your hands like that, you know.
No, that's how I am 2 days before payday. Counting the amount of times I press the pedal.
But yeah, congrats to him.
Shout out.
It. I thought I had written down the next race, but it's okay. It's like some challenge thingy.
Whatever. Look it up.
Oh, I do have it here. Duh. The next race will be Saturday, June 28th, from Hampton, Georgia, for Challenge Round 1 Quaker State 400 at Echo Park Speedway. Coverage of the race begins at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on TNT. Okay, now I see. I'm looking at my notes here. I wrote it in a different spot. And then finally, X Games Salt Lake is this weekend, June 27th to the 29th. Events include BMX Park, Skateboard Vert, Moto X Best Trick, Skateboard Street, and much, much more. Times to be determined, but you can catch all the X Games action on their YouTube channel or on Roku. Danny, that's all I got. I am out of breath. Do you have anything else to add in regards to the sports landscape?
You're out of breath. I'm out of thoughts. No, we covered a lot. I'm all good.
Not yet. I'm all good as well. I'm gonna start doing this outro. So yeah, thank you for listening to Rambling Runoff. If you're listening on YouTube, please hit that like and subscribe button. If you're on Spotify for Creators, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, please give us a follow. If you want to see more from us on social media, hit us up on Twitter, aka X, at Rambling Runoff, and also on Instagram at Rambling Runoff. Plus, we are on TikTok, where we post a few videos here and there. And as we mentioned, you never know where you'll find us. We'll probably be at like a Sparks game or something sometime soon. Maybe another Dodger game. We'll see. But yeah, for my co-host Danny Tan, I've been your host Robert Rios. See you guys next time. Bye.
Also, NBA draft is today. My bad. Peace.
Bye.